Hello, people of the world, what's up? Okay, so this is my week 2 video, which we decided to have a Q&A because nobody could decide on a theme. So Rizzo was like, oh, I'm just going to do some questions. And I was like, okay, I like questions. I like to answer things. Although I'll admit some of these weren't my most favorite questions to answer because they were hard and required thought. And I don't like a lot of thinking. But, no, I had to type my answers out ahead of time because otherwise, like if I had answered these on the spot, it would have taken forever. So I'm not going to do that, and I'm just going to more or less write what I typed out with some little ad-libbing here and there. So, without further ado, on to the first question, which was, if a movie was being made about your life, and you could choose the actor or actress to play you, who would you choose and why? Well, first of all, no one would ever make a movie about my life. And if they did, it would be one boring-ass movie. Well, I mean, for the most part anyway. There might be a few, like, bits I can think of that if they were included in the movie would make for, an interesting, thing to watch. But if it was made, and I was choosing, I'd most likely pick someone who I would want to play me, not necessarily who would be best to play me. Like, I don't know, Darren Criss or Taylor Lautner, for instance. Neither of them look anything like me, but they'd be in the top 5 if I was picking, who was going to play me. Realistically, however, I think I would probably say either Jonah Hill or Clark Duke from Hot Tub Time Machine. If you don't know who either of them are, I point you to YouTube. Seriously, just type in the names in the YouTube search bar and you'll see what I mean. So yeah, that's that. Question 2. My favorite season and why? I kind of like that for some of these questions we're all like agreeing because it means we're that much more awesome and we mesh and we're compatible and buddies. But I also like fall, but I prefer to call it autumn because I don't know, I like autumn. The word, it sounds cool. Everyone says fall, so I say autumn in a way of, I guess, being different. I don't know. But that's my favorite season. Like most, who favor it, I enjoy it because it tends to have the most comfortable climate and whatnot. It's not as hot as summer, not as cold as winter. Spring's kind of like that too, but my allergies go nuts in the spring. So that's another reason why autumn is my favorite, because I don't sneeze every 12 seconds in the fall. Plus, I like the breeze. There's almost always a breeze in the air. And I like the colors in the trees. The red and the gold and the brown and the orange and leaves blowing everywhere. It's just, it's really pleasant and stuff. Question 3. What traditional stereotype would you classify yourself as? I don't think I fit one traditional stereotype. I would guess the closest I could think of would be nerd or geek because I'm into stuff that most people grow out of, like Power Rangers and Pokemon. But overall, I don't really think of one stereotype that I fit. Okay, question 4. What group did you belong to in high school? I didn't exactly belong to one specific group, but if I had to pick, I'd say the Drama Geeks, since most of my close friends were in the drama club with me. But it was small and short-lived, but, it was kind of like our thing. And I didn't fit into any other group, unless you consider Weird Kids a group, then I was part of that group. The weird people. Alright, this is a fun one. Question 5. I'm planning a dinner party. Now, I decided to also pick one person from each category because it, seems the best way to go. Alright, first off, for a historical figure, I am going to go with Mozart, the classical composer, because as a music major, I just think he'd be interesting to meet and to talk to, especially if he's as eccentric as some of his portrayals in the, few movies they made about him. He just seems like a crazy dude who would be awesome at a party. For fictional character, I'd have to go with Captain Jack Harkness from the Doctor Who and Torchwood series. I mean, come on, it's Captain Jack. No dinner party will be complete without him. Plus, it'd be funny to watch him flirt with Mozart, because he would, because it's Jack. And for celebrity, that's really hard, because there's tons of celebrities I'd love to invite to dinner. Could a music group count as one? If so, then One Direction for sure. I would just invite One Direction as a whole. All 5 of them could sit in one seat and I would just spend the entire dinner party time watching them eat like a creeper. But if not, I think maybe Jane Lynch, who is most known for playing Coach Sylvester on Glee. I'm not really sure why, but I just think, I think she's a brilliant actress, and she's funny, and she'd be cool to hang out with. And she would certainly make for interesting dinner talk, especially with Jack Harkness and Mozart. Alright, next one. Question 6. If you could be any fictional character, who would you be? If I could be any fictional character, I want to say I'd be Percy Jackson. Except, I have no substantial reason other than that he's Percy Jackson, and Percy's awesome. Or maybe Peter Pan, so I'd never have to grow up. Plus I could fly, which is always badass. And that's really my only reasons for why I would want to be either of those people. Okay, number 7. What book has influenced you greatly and how? I like to think every book I read influences me in some way, be it great or small. I honestly cannot really think off the top of my head, or even while I was thinking these questions, of one specific book that has influenced me in a big way. Like, I guess maybe the Harry Potter series, because it was a big part of my childhood and growing up through my teen years, but I can't think of, specific. I'm not really good with this kind of questions, so that's my lame answer for that. Question 8. If you were a natural element, would you rather be fire or water? Okay, well, first of all, I want to know, why isn't air or earth an option? They're also natural elements. According to my horoscope, which is Taurus, I'm an earth element, but I'd much rather be air or water. And since air is not an option, I'd go with water, like everybody else. Pretty much the same reasons. Fire's a little too destructive. I don't consider myself destructive. I like water. It's cool. It's adaptable, which I kind of consider myself adaptable, depending on the situations. And it's good at fixing things. It gives life, we need water to live, and we're made of a lot of water, so. Yay, water! Alright, last question, which, like everyone that's done this, is pretty much their favorite. But mine's going to be a little better because I'm awesome, and just because. So, if you could choose one doctor to travel with, which one would you choose and why? Okay, it's really, really hard for me to choose just one doctor. So, since I am the veteran out of the Whovians we have here, I'm going to pick 2 doctors. One from the classic series, which lasted from 1963 to 1989, and one from the modern series, which is from 2005 to the present. Okay, I'll start with my modern choice, which is of course the 10th Doctor. The first ever episode of Doctor Who that I saw was one of his, though I can't recall exactly which episode it was. But I went back and watched the first season with the 9th Doctor before starting the rest. Anyway, I just think it'd be a blast. I would have a blast traveling with the 10th Doctor. He would definitely keep me in shape, what with all the running and stuff. Plus, I love all his little catchphrases, like, brilliant, and allons-y, and the way he draws out, well, when he's explaining stuff. And the coat, I would totally, at some point, I would take his coat and just run with it. Like, I'm wearing your coat, bye! That was really lame. But anyway, so there's that. Pick 10, 10th Doctor, boss. Now, choosing a classic Doctor is a lot harder for me because I like them all, and they each have something that makes them awesome. And I definitely recommend, if you really want to get the full Doctor Who experience, to go back. I can point you to some places that have episodes online, and you need to watch some classic Who. It's not as awesome what you might expect because it was in the 60s and 70s and 80s, and the special effects and all that weren't quite as awesome, but if you can look past that and just enjoy it for the experience of Doctor Who, it's really cool. But anyway, for my classic choice for the Doctor, I think I would have to go with the 4th Doctor, who's played by Tom Baker. It's the longest run of any actor playing the Doctor. He played him for 7 years, from 1974 to 1981. And I'm really showing my nerd side right now. But anyway, I would go with the 4th Doctor to travel with. I liked his outfit and his ridiculously long scarf, and I totally want to buy a scarf like that and just, walk around and trip people, drag it on the ground. Plus, he had K9 and Jelly Babies. Come on. How can you go wrong with K9 and frickin' Jelly Babies? Google it if you have no idea what I'm talking about. Not to mention the crazy facial expressions, and the way he expressed himself with body language. And just a fun doctor overall. So, yeah, those are my answers. And hopefully next week we'll have a theme that goes better with what we want to do with this channel. And, I don't know, I might put up some more random videos if Rizzo doesn't mind. Just me ranting and possibly singing if I can get my equipment to record my voice decently. So, yeah. Peace.